Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a lovely Easter over the weekend. Personally, this year I celebrated a traditional atheist Easter, which means that I spent the day sitting on the couch watching Sherlock and eating Cadbury eggs. The following calls are taken from editions of Mail Call printed in the Herald-Mail from March 18 to March 29, 2013, which can be read online in their entirety at www.herald-mail.com. First up from Hagerstown, the article about the Thunder over the Blue Ridge Air Show canceled. This is another example of wasted taxpayer dollars. Taxpayers should not have been paying for this to start with. If they want to have shows like this, they should be charging admission and it should cover the cost of the air show. Why would taxpayers be paying for this? Government waste. I ask myself that exact same question every time I drive by a humongous church built on a spacious lot. Why should the tax-exempt status of places like that cost the government, and therefore the taxpayers, billions of dollars every year in lost revenue? If we are really serious about cutting the deficit and balancing the budgets of our federal and state governments, why isn't this option spoken about more seriously by more people? I'm not saying that it's some magical solution to all of our problems, not by a long shot, but it would do a hell of a lot more good than canceling air shows, cutting White House tours, or laying off employees of the Park Service. I think one idea for the downtown area revitalization might be to put a multi-theater downtown. I noticed I went to the movies the other day out on Leitersburg Pike, and I thought as I was leaving the theater, if this had been downtown, in the downtown area, I would have gone to the movies downtown. And I noticed that there were people from the surrounding areas, from all over the place, parked in the lot to go see these movies. So it might be a good idea to put a movie theater in the downtown area. Make ample parking for people to park. Hagerstown. Ooh, good idea. And after they've built the massive multiplex cinema with tons of parking downtown, they can give their magic wand another flick and install an enchanted wish-granting fountain. It's a sad situation when it snows and you're an elderly person and your neighbors can't help you clean up some of the snow on your sidewalk or around your mailbox or whatever. It's a shame. Everybody's all for themselves, and the heck with you. God help them when they need somebody to help them. Hancock. Oh, Great-Grandma, I told you, there's no point pestering your neighbors to shovel your snow. You never leave the house anyway. And I didn't help because the international trailers for Star Trek Into Darkness had just been released, and I had to watch them all and look for subtle differences. I explained this to you that day when you called, and I accidentally picked up the phone. Remember? We are soon to find out if the Boy Scouts of America will show their integrity and continue their choice to deny homosexuals positions. This current left-wing socialist regime is hell-bent on destroying the BSA, the Mormon and Amish faiths, and other establishments that preach hard work, honesty, accountability, and don't expect government handouts. Fayetteville, Pennsylvania. I don't see why preaching hard work, honesty, etc. necessitates discrimination against gay people. If the Boy Scouts want to show their integrity, they should end their bigoted anti-gay policy. Then they can go right back to teaching the members of their federally chartered organization, which often meets in the basements and multi-purpose rooms of public libraries and tax-exempt churches, not to expect government handouts. I just want to say that the people who call Mail Call are really smart. They know how to run things, and what I want to do is start the Mail Call Club. If we could meet every Monday morning at McDonald's, at the mall, and talk about things, we could start the Mail Call Club, and we could meet and talk about things. You all have some good ideas. Just put it in Mail Call and we'll meet on Mondays at the mall. Hagerstown. Oh, this is just how the French Revolution started. First the commoners withdrew from the Estates General, then they started meeting on their own. I believe they all went out to lunch at McDonald's after signing the tennis court oath. Didn't they? Just for the information of your readers, the new pontiff, Francis, took the name after the patron saint of animals, St. Francis of Assisi. Hagerstown. No, he didn't. He took the name after the patron saint of ecology, St. Francis of Assisi. Okay, look, never mind. What the hell kind of pope name is Francis? Anyway, modern pope names are so lame. I mean, I guess Benedict wasn't so bad, but before that you had John Paul, and another John Paul, and then Paul. Before that, John. I mean, come on. You are the dictator of a global cult, 1 billion followers strong. Take a name that reflects that. At least insist that we English speakers refer to you as Franciscus. That sounds a little more intimidating. I mean, sure, literally it means guy from France, but nobody gives a fuck what names mean anyway. Franciscus sounds like the ruler of Vatican City. Francis sounds like the shy kid you went to elementary school with who collected insects and whose eventual arrest on child pornography charges surprised no one. This is to all the conservatives who keep making the argument that more people are killed by knives and clubs than they are guns, and if you want to kill something, you can do it with a knife or a club. Well, if that's the case, I want all the hunters who go out in the woods stop taking guns. Why don't you just carry a knife and a club and go beat or stab your deer to death next time? It's so untrue that knives are more dangerous than guns. Hagerstown. Don't be an idiot. Deer are way too fast. You'd never be able to catch one to stab it or club it to death. And even if you could catch one, bucks have antlers, which are basically knives and clubs combined growing out of their fucking skulls. You with a knife, a deer with head-mounted death spikes? That's almost an even fight. That's why you need the gun to give yourself the insurmountable advantage. It's not hunting if it's fair. All this malarkey about the Pope, what happened to God? Maybe the atheists have it right. Hagerstown. Did they elect a new God too? Because if they did, atheists would seem to have it wrong. Unless God is just a job title, like Grand Wizard. Speaking of God, praise be to God for answering the prayers of many people who lifted up Aaron Miller for God's healing touch. The front page article on Sunday, March 17th will inspire many others to believe in God's healing powers, which guided the doctors in Aaron's treatment. God loves all of his people. He has special plans for each precious life. God inspires us to be all we can be, using our many talents and abilities he has given us. Boonesboro. Even those of us who anonymously starve to death in slums, I suppose. So you acknowledge the life-saving treatment Aaron received from doctors, but you still insist on giving God the credit. For those of you who don't know, Aaron Miller is a teenager from Hagerstown who was diagnosed with leukemia. Happily, Aaron is now in full remission. And I suppose if you want, you can believe that God healed him. You can believe that God healed him by allowing him to wait until the disease had almost killed him before getting it diagnosed, then having him endure 4 courses of chemotherapy, which damaged his heart in addition to eliminating his cancer. Although personally, I would rather credit Aaron's survival to Aaron and to the doctors and treatments which, you know, actually saved his life. But that's just me. And finally, from Hagerstown, it's nice to see a new pope elected, but when will we see a real American pope? I can't help thinking it's about time the Vatican recognized the USA's status as the predominant Christian nation, loved by God above all others. Oh, is this one serious or is this one a joke? I can't tell. Damn you, Poe's Law. Damn you to hell. You know, if they ever do elect an American pope, I at least hope that they don't choose one of our cardinals or archbishops or one of those assholes. I hope that they elect one of our disgruntled old priests, like you sometimes see in documentaries. One of the guys that's been in the church for decades and never been promoted beyond the level of parish priest, and with a little bit of prodding, he admits that he thinks the whole thing is horseshit. You know, one of the guys who is just coasting on inertia at this point, hoping that he dies before everybody finds out about the children he had with his secret mistress. Now that is a pope I could stand behind. Just not in front of. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't be comfortable with that. Thanks for watching.